going. That's exciting. Yeah, usually we have like a backdrop and everything set up, but I was kind of hoping that they would just kind of like have like a pre-set up thing. I'm assuming that this is like completely like pre-rendered, like this is like good to go. Is this live? Is this actually going here? Oh yeah, now it is. Uh, what a time, eh? What a time to be an Xbox fan. I guess it never hurts to like the video. Subscribing's great. Oh look, today's the day. Big announcement. That guy's got a lot watching. He's just preparing for the death. Huh? That's kind of funny. Yeah, be a channel member, Patreon option. There's a Discord if you want stream alerts to chat about everything. There's an Amazon store affiliate link. So it looks like it's just not up yet. So I guess we're gonna have to wait a bit. I suppose we could like. I'm trying to think of what we can do while we're waiting for this. I was kind of just tuned in and ready to go for it to just kind of start or have like a pre-roll, but it's like an E3 thing minus the fun of E3. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if Xbox survives. That's the whole thing today is, basking in the wait for whether or not Xbox is going to make it. Is it alive? Is it dead? Is it somewhere in between? Who's to say? Now, allegedly, there was supposed to be a Nintendo Direct before this event, but it got delayed because of Xbox's Death Day event, so that's kind of fun. I guess we could play Tomb Raider beforehand. Yeah, I guess we could. Well, I kind of had my settings for audio set up. Okay, we'll just we'll get some Tomb Raider action in beforehand, I guess. I take it that this is not like a live event. They're just dropping a podcast talking about how they've given up on the platform, so that should be fun. Should we go put the old guy in the freezer? That's kind of fun. Yeah. The death of Xbox. Feet, Lara Croft. So yeah, I guess we gotta wait like 13 minutes or something. They couldn't have even done us a solid and set up like a pre-roll event or something. Unbelievable. Yeah. Are we ready for the funeral? Oh, don't be so grim, guys. I'm sure everything will be fine. Play Gears and Halo before it's multi-platform. Am I emotionally ready for this? I don't know. I'm actually just kind of like bored of it at this point. Like I'm kind of like this. I don't know how to describe it, but like Microsoft is doing like everything they can to like just sour my my opinion of Xbox. Like it's actually just crazy. Just like the level of like just I'm kind of getting towards like a point of indifference towards the brand. It's utterly fascinating. And there was we were talking like a month ago about like Xbox expiring me from their affiliate program, and I finally got an email back today, and they're like, "We totally missed this. So sorry." I was like, "What the hell?" And they're like, we'd love to know how we came across as snide, and I was like, I'm not even responding to this. I was like, really, Microsoft? They're like, we want our programs to feel, or people in our programs and our partners to feel good about working with us. And I'm like, I don't. I don't anymore. Yeah, started with Redfall. It's like, I had like really, really high opinions of Microsoft, and now it's just like, yeah, it's levels of indifference. Does anyone know how I get the secret key to Lara Croft's bedroom? Like, I mean, I'm in her bedroom, but maybe it's more her closet. What is behind the closet? What does she keep in there, guys? What kind of outfits are here? Anyways, we're just killing time. If somebody notices that the actual podcast is up early, let me know. But like we got like 10 minutes till this starts. Yeah, thanks for all of you being here today for this. Oh yeah, Xbox is gonna get absolutely just slaughtered on Twitter today, and I mean it's probably gonna be well deserved, honestly. I mean, what are we hoping for out of this event? Phil Spencer resignation, Xbox going third party. Maybe a handheld being thrown in there for some reason. Why not? Like, the best case scenario that I ran over is, like, the worst case scenario. So, no matter what, it's doom and gloom. Yeah. Oh, there's going to be no explanation from this event. You're going to get really, really vague info that's going to make it sound easier than it is. I'm assuming, because, again, there was supposed to be a Nintendo Direct, so I'm assuming we're going to get confirmation that, like, Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment are going to be going over. And they won't tell us anything else, and they'll be like, it's case by case. And then you'll notice in the summer, they'll probably be like, Indiana Jones is coming. Like, they're not going to tell you anything that will damage the brand more than it's already damaged. So they're probably going to keep things to a minimal. Like, they're not going to tell you that Starfield's going to go over, but in like several months you'll see that, hey, yeah, you know what, Starfield is going to PlayStation. And it's, yeah, because they're not going to try to, you know, because it's going to impact console sales. This already probably has impacted console sales, but, you know, it's going to be worse. Come over here. I'm trying to throw you in the freezer before this event starts. We've only got 10 minutes. Get over here, old man. Wouldn't it be faster if I could, like, pick him up and bring him into the freezer and sit him down? Yeah. 10 minutes, the time is coming. Yeah, we're just waiting for it to pop up here. PlayStation Captain. You guys do know I have, like, a PS5 and a Nintendo console, right? Like, seriously. I don't even know if we're gonna get facts from this event. I guess that's why we're kind of watching together, is it's sort of like this idea. Come on, dude, get over here. It is the idea of, like, kind of looking at it and dissecting what they're saying, because you're going to have to go through a lot of PR speak. Like, I don't think they're going to be really blatant because they can't be, and they're just not going to choose to be, but, like, yeah. This is a defining day for Xbox, so I'm glad I had to waste my afternoon to cover this, so this should be fun. Yeah. Xbox is saved. Who's saving Xbox? The only person that could come and make a difference now is if Don Matrick came back to run the CEO position. That guy was a legend. People just didn't want to believe. Yeah. I think the better question should be... I apologize, I wanted to put together an Xbox Death Bingo card before this event, but I didn't have time. But I'm like, so we should have had some, like, bets on what we were expecting to see here. It's like, how many times do you think Phil Spencer's gonna, like, apologize? When do you think his apology tour kicks off? Is that going to be, like, in, like, a week from now? Is he going to join some Xbox podcasts that's, like, really pro-Xbox? And he's going to be like, yeah, guys, I'm really sorry about letting down the fans. You know, we shouldn't have let it get so bad, but we did. Yeah, come on. This guy's so slow. He's seriously so slow. Phil will save Xbox. Phil Spencer doesn't know how to run Xbox. All he's done is, like, run it into the ground. Seriously, he's like had 10 years and he's released nothing. And the 1 year they are releasing things, they're going to start releasing them on PlayStation. Although PlayStation, not having too hot of a year now either. You know, they missed their sales projections by 4 million. They're going to be doing day and date with PC, it sounds like. So I don't think PlayStation is in a good space either. I think what we're really seeing is the death of consoles, outside of Nintendo doing what Nintendo does. But yeah, I don't know how much longer consoles are really going to be around. I give it to the PS7 and the next Xbox that they release in like 2026 or something like that. Where did he go? Where is he? Butler? Where are you, Butler? Where did he go? Did anybody see my butler? Oh, there he is. Okay. He's a wily, crafty old man. He moves around. Come on. You're supposed to entertain me until Xbox dies. Come on, get over here. Come on. He moves so slow. If you guys missed our Tomb Raider podcast last night, it was really, really good. Yeah. It is a sad time. But as long as we have fun together, that's what it's all about. And maybe I'll go to Costco and get a sundae after this. My depression sundae. Come on, get here in the meat box. He moves so slow. Are you coming in the freezer or what? I swear they designed this just to be agonizing. Maybe that's just to show how fast Lara Croft is. Yes. Thank you for bringing my tea, Butler. Butler? Thank you for bringing my tea. Throw him in the icebox! She doesn't crawl in this one. That's only a Tomb Raider 3 impact. Redfall on PC. I heard that's the one game that Xbox is refusing to give up, is Redfall, sadly. That's the one exclusive that everyone deserves to play. If I had to sit there and play Redfall, people on PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch should have to sit there and play Redfall. If they're getting the good games like Halo and Gears and Starfield and everything, They should have to be subject to Redfall too. Yeah. When will the event start? I don't know, like 5 minutes or something. You're alive! Okay, I didn't get an achievement still for freezing him in there. Maybe I'm supposed to, like, just leave him for a while. Come back in. No! T-Man, come back in here. You're belonging to the freezer. I know you just froze and you don't trust me, but trust me this time. I'm not gonna lock you in here. You're gonna be totally okay. He's got old man sounds. Enjoy being in the freezer. Now we can watch him freeze in real time. He is the Iceman. Doo -doo -doo. Lara Croft strikes again. I'm glad you guys all came out here, though, for the death of Xbox. It was really nice that everybody took the time. Alright, so should we see if the event is going on now? Alright, let's go take a look and see if the event's going on. Adobe Acrobat Pro gives you the trusted surfaces? Whoa. Let's see what we got here. The guy's got 1,100 people. Hey, that's me! Look! I'm doing it. Really? More of you guys are watching Xbox Tester than me? Wow, that hurts my feelings. I guess I should have never covered this brand then. Oh my god. Wow. I see how it is, guys. I see how it is. There's still no event going on. I can't believe we're live reacting to a podcast. This is like the dumbest thing we've ever had to do. It's still not up yet. It's just going to be a pre-recorded video that we're going to be watching. This is so silly. So silly. I am glad that some of you chose me over the other options out there. I know there's so many other choices, I guess. Yeah. I think it's the sarcastic, drawn demeanor. I think it's just going to be a video they're just going to plop out right at, like, 1 o'clock. We're gonna get PlayStation exclusives? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt we're gonna get PlayStation exclusives. Like, other brands, like, things are changing. Like, you know, PlayStation stuff gonna be day and date on PC. But, like, you know, PlayStation, Nintendo, they're not stupid. They're not gonna put their games on Xbox. They'd be dumb if they did that. People are thirsty for Xbox info. I know, right? I think we had a great thumbnail. Maybe that's my problem, is my thumbnail's too aggressive. So you just did the picture thing. I've got like an Xbox Series X on fire. Sorry. Just having a good kick out of this one. Alright, we're gonna drop the volume down to like 6, so that this is, or well, up to 6 so you guys can see it there. Yeah, but Xbox Tester has more people watching. So does this guy. So does this guy. I feel so inadequate compared to these other people. Syrian commentary. It's gonna be riveting, guys. It's like it's E3 or something. It's like we're covering an E3 event, but it's like depressing. Yeah, I don't see it yet, so we gotta wait. It's literally just gonna be like a pre-recorded video. Ugh, it's so lame. They should have done it live. It's like Xbox, they don't have like a spine or something, it feels like. They're just like, oh, let's do a pre-recorded safety video. How long do you think this is going to be? 40 minutes? An hour? Hey John, thanks for stopping by. It's nice that you guys came in here. I know you guys are all really busy with your days and stuff. Oh, we got like a minute left, guys. See, even Xbox knows this just happened. Yeah. Did anybody bring the streamers? I still don't see it yet. I can't believe they did this as a podcast. Isn't that weird? 12:59. Okay, like I guess we're just gonna have to wait a second until this goes on here. The Xbox on fire. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe Xbox has some kind of stunning new vision of Xbox that is gonna blow our minds. Working with them for 10 years has shown me that that is unlikely to be the case, but who knows? Today is the day. I don't see it. I'm gonna reset the YouTube app. Let's see if it popped up yet. It's exactly 1 o'clock right now, so like it should be up. Let's see here. Okay. Is there a future of Xbox? video thing live? No, still not here. It's 1 o'clock. What's going on here? Yes, hello, folks. Yeah. Well, since it's supposed to start soon, it doesn't hurt to like the stream, and subscribing's great and all that stuff too. Oh, that guy's got a way better picture than I do. I knew I should have fit Starfield and Phil Spencer in there somehow. Oh, man, that's amazing. Look at that. It's got the Xbox Rest in Peace logo. I knew I should have spent more than 1 minute putting together an image for this. Yeah. I don't see that it's up there yet. Yeah. Are we going to survive? I don't know. I'm just sitting here nervously refreshing, waiting for, the news. And it's just like, what's going on here? It's still not up yet. Are they leaving us hanging? Is my app just not working? They're late? Is this gonna be live? Did they forget to upload it? That would be such an Xbox thing to do, would be to forget to upload this. Yeah. So look, now he's got 900 people watching. Why do I always get shafted on this stuff, I swear? Look at this. This is like, what is this? I feel like there's other competition doing better than that. It's been posted. Oh, it's apparently up, guys. Yeah. As long as your therapist was there. Okay, I'll restart the YouTube app again. Yeah. Of course it's going to be pre-recorded. Xbox doesn't have the capability to sit there and do that live for us. Here we go. Is it here? I don't see it. It started. It's live 23 minutes. I don't have this. Why don't I have this? Okay, let me look at my computer and see if I can find it on there, and then go through my history and pop it up on that thing. Yeah. I don't have it on my YouTube app. Okay, one sec here, guys. No, I don't see it on their page. Oh, there it is. It just showed up 2 minutes ago, but I don't have it on my YouTube app. All right, let's restart this one more time. I'll put it up on my PC so that it's in my history in case it doesn't just show up. Okay, well, it's live now, so we're good to go. One sec here, guys. Yeah, I think it's just because we're not. Let's see here. 23 minutes. Oof, that's shorter than I thought it would be. Kind of doesn't need a podcast thing. Okay, I'm gonna go to my bop. There we go. Here we go. This is it, guys.
Hello and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Tina Amini, and we have a very special episode today.
They got all the legends out there,
probably
guys.
Tell by the fact that I'm joined by Phil, Sarah, and Matt. Welcome. And we're going to talk about some updates at Xbox. We want to talk about game exclusivity. We want to talk about Activision Blizzard now that they're part of our portfolio, how that might be an impact on Game Pass. And we want to talk about hardware too and how all of this fits into the strategy at Xbox. So where should we start, Phil?
Well, when we originally had planned for the show, starting back in December, I think we probably would have started with Activision Blizzard. Maybe talked a little bit about the exclusivity with some of the news coming up, and then hardware. But we've had some unforeseen news that has come out. So let's just go and tackle the exclusivity question, because I know it's on the minds of a lot of people. We hear from the community, and that's an important input for us. So we made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles, just 4 games. Not a change
for
to
now,
our kind of fundamental exclusive strategy. We're making these decisions for some specific reasons. We make every decision really with the long-term health of Xbox in mind.
Yeah, okay.
And long-term health of Xbox means a growing platform, our games performing, building the best platform for creators, reaching as many players as we can. We're always looking to learn as a leadership team. And to grow. And we think this is an interesting point in time for us to use what some of the other platforms have right now to help grow our franchises. So we're going to do that.
So these 4 titles, what are they? Can you say?
I'm not going to name those games. The teams that are building those games have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their announcements with the partners. So I don't want to take anything away from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
I hope
Can
this
we
guy
say
resigns,
if either of those
honestly.
titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Well, what
For
was the
now.
criteria in how the team was thinking about selecting those 4 titles?
It's like
Let
I'm
me
watching
start
propaganda.
a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now. Because the fundamental decision driver for any decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox. That we're running a growing platform that is reaching more players, that our games are having as much success as possible. And I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. And that's not some great insight, because if you look at the last 10 years and what the biggest games are today, it's a natural place. Whether it's one console and PC, multiple consoles, mobile
Smaller
console
and
and
smaller.
PC, you see big games landing on multiple platforms. And we want to be a great platform for creators that are trying to realize that potential. But now back to the specifics of the question on these four specific titles.
Pentiment, Hi-Fi
We looked
Rush,
at
Sea of
games that are
Thieves.
over a year old. So they've been on Xbox and PC for a while. A couple of the games are community-driven games, new games, that kind of first iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth.
He's really
Franchises
PR
that we
spinning
obviously
this
want to continue
hard.
to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have
It's Flight
communities
Sim would be
behind
the
them,
last one, I would
that they
guess.
can have confidence that they're going to exist in the future. So 2 of
Yeah.
them, kind of community-driven games that will end up on other platforms and give us the ability to continue to invest in them. We think that's great for the business and great for the communities, more players to play with. I'd say 2 of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives.
Just
and all the
fucking say the
fanfare that goes
games.
around that.
It's so
But
stupid.
games that our teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors across our
damn it.
studios, regardless of size.
This guy needs
And
to
as
retire.
they've realized their full
Resign.
potential on Xbox and
God damn it.
PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value out of those games, allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio. And when we don't damage Xbox and we can grow our
Oh my
business
God, we
using what
don't
other
damage
platforms
Xbox.
have and to help us with that, we're going to do that. And that's really the story behind these 4 games. And last
No,
thing I'll
it's
say,
Pentiment,
looking
Hi-Fi
forward,
Rush, Sea of Thieves,
you know,
and
I
it's
think
probably Flight Sim.
there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms
Oh
to get
my
them
God.
more interested in Xbox. We think there's
This is
a
so
good
much
brand
worse than I
value for
thought.
Xbox there. So 4 games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4
No
games
promise
coming,
beyond
don't
that.
take it as some
You literally
signal
just said
that
more and more
everything's coming. It's
exclusives are
not.
going to be going,
And
or
we're
sorry,
gonna learn.
less and less exclusives
So when you
will
are
be a
thinking
thing.
about the future and this concept
Oh
of live
my
service
God.
games that can benefit from bigger audiences, new audiences, how does that apply to future titles and how you're applying that criteria there?
Yeah, there's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. We just came out of Developer Direct, which was an awesome show, where we showed great games that are coming to Xbox and PC and cloud, which really makes them accessible to hundreds of millions of people. So it's this kind of, we're really focused on a couple platforms and what's going to show up there. But our key of play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, when everybody plays, we all win. These have been part of our strategy for years and will continue to be. Our focus is on how do we continue to grow the games industry by reaching more
I love
players
how the
in
other
more
2 people are
places,
just there to
and how do we
nod
grow
yes in a very
Xbox
serious
as part
way.
of that. Xbox is a hardware platform, Xbox is a publisher of great games, and Xbox as a platform for the world's best creators.
And then knowing that, how do we think about our first-party games and Game Pass?
Yeah, well, to build on what
Booty's
Phil
talking
just said,
now.
one thing I would add, as you were talking about growth, is
Yeah.
just that we've sort of seen this inversion over the last 5 years where it used to be that the platform was the biggest thing.
That's right.
And the games would sort of tuck in within the platform today,
What
big
games?
like a Roblox or a Fortnite could actually be bigger than any one platform. And that really has changed the way that we think about things. So in the midst of all
Grounded.
that, I think we at
Grounded
First
makes
Party
sense.
can come back to sort of some core principles. First, that all of our games will be on the Xbox platform. Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day one. And third, we know that Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So there's sort of starting points for us. As Phil mentioned, there are games today that you can play that only can be found on Xbox. And at the same time, we want to bring more of our games to more players. So we're going to continue to look at that. Kind of moving aside, though, from some of those and thinking more about what does it really mean for the player, to me, the two key things are cross-play and cross-save. Those things allow us to deliver on the promise of Xbox, which is play with your friends where they are, play on the devices you want, play the games you want. So that is really only possible at a practical level when you know that your saves and your player are going to be able to move across all those parts. So not all of our games today are necessarily built to take advantage of that. There still will be some games that don't. As we bring more teams into the Xbox family, there's some catch up to do as we get there. But that cross-play, cross-save is like so fundamental to what we're doing, and I think is something that we as First Party get such a good benefit from being so close to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things, like you said, all of our games are always in Game Pass. And so I'm excited to announce, with the coming together that we had with Activision Blizzard King, that Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 on March 28th, which I'm super, super excited to share today. And it's all part of our commitment to make Xbox,
What about the other games?
Xbox
What are my
experience
older
and the
games?
games that we build as widely available as possible. So now the 34 million Game Pass members can all enjoy the fantastic experience of Diablo 4.
Amazing. Can we come back to the point, Phil, you mentioned at the top, this
propaganda.
isn't really a change in strategy for us. Can you recap for me how it isn't?
Yeah, and I thought both Matt and Sarah did a really nice job of talking about what we're doing on Xbox, where we're going. If you take a platform feature like Xbox Play Anywhere, which has been a promise that we've made on our first party games, that you can buy our game once, you're going to get play across Xbox and Windows. I think we're the only platform that does this. That makes it possible for you not only to play with your friends wherever they are, but to know that you actually have multiple entitlements to the games. I think that's a
That's for
technology
when
I'd
they
love to
shut
see
down the
applied to more
Xbox
platforms.
hardware. You can play on PCs
But it
too.
is this view that people are going to play Xbox in multiple places. Whether it's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, whether it's content, community, and cloud, whether it's when everybody plays, we all win. Like, we've had different taglines, different strategy, kind of words that we've used, but always with this view that Xbox is a platform for creators who want to reach the most players. Our investments in xCloud, our investments in franchises like Minecraft and now Call of Duty and other large franchises so that we learn how to build those. This has been a strategy that we've been on for, I'd say, a decade. It's not about one device. It's not about games in service of a device, but rather the devices that people want to play on should be in service of making the games as big and popular as they possibly could be. Because really, a healthy creator community on Xbox, a healthy creator community in gaming all up, is the thing that all of us as game players should be voting for, because that's the thing that will lead to the best long-term success and growth in this industry.
And my understanding, just from listening and learning from you three over the past few weeks, just understanding what's happening with Xbox, is that we see trends with player behavior where people are playing on multiple devices. That is the reality. And we have put some games out on multiple platforms before. So my understanding is that that's been good for players. How does that come back to the business with all of that in mind?
Yeah, as you said, we have shipped games on other platforms. In fact, realistically, if you look with the addition of Activision and Blizzard and ZeniMax, we're one of the largest game publishers on PlayStation. We're one of the largest publishers on the Nintendo Switch, especially when you put Minecraft into the equation as well. And now we're one of the largest publishers on mobile platforms as well. And that's not something that we want to back away from. We want to continue to be building great games that millions and millions of people can love, and that they can play those games where they want to go play. But we do understand the business success that Xbox has to have. Us as leaders in this business, the system today, the system that all companies that we play video games from, is a world of you got to be growing your business. Growth in an Xbox business is critical to the long-term health of Xbox. Many people know I've been on Xbox for over 20 years, and I want to make sure Xbox is in the best position for the next 20 years. That means healthy player community, healthy creator community, and healthy business. So when we look at opportunities to allow more people to play, more people engage, more people to buy, more people to subscribe, it's all about putting Xbox in the best position. And our hardware is a critical component of that. The absolute best experience somebody has on Xbox is hardware that your team builds and that people play on. But that's not going to be everybody. We fully accepted that we're going to have Xbox players across all kinds of devices.
So I think a lot of people think about 2023 as this incredible year for gaming. And in a lot of ways it was. There was some really amazing releases that I think we all enjoyed.
Redfall,
but what were the
classic.
signals behind the scenes that maybe indicated how we wanted to look at the future of Xbox and how we kind of keep up with the industry?
Yeah, such a good question. And I think it's, as people who care about the industry, which I assume is people who are watching this, it was an amazing year. Some great launches, some of the games that I think will stand the test of time and people will be talking about a decade from now. But it's an industry that didn't really grow. And what happens when an industry doesn't grow? You end up with some job eliminations, which we had. We had even our own hard decisions to make about building a sustainable business for ourselves, but in no way were we alone in that. When you think about a healthy industry, I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love. I want people who invest their careers in working here to feel like this is a place that they can be successful. And that really is down to being part of an industry that is growing. If you listen to Lisa Su, the AMD CEO, she'll say that AMD-powered consoles are likely to decline in 2024. I think there's an amazing set of games coming in 2024, but if we don't get to growing as an industry, the industry will struggle. And today there's really two choices on how do you grow the industry. Do you say, I have a fixed number of players, the players that we have today, and do I find new ways to monetize those players to get more money from the players that I have? Or do you think about how do I expand the business I have by finding new players and adding those to the base of players that already play? Our focus on Xbox for the last decade has really been on that latter point of how do we make sure Xbox is growing for our players, growing for our creators, so those people are finding success on our platform, which will grow the Xbox business and put Xbox in a position to be very strong for years and decades to come.
Matt, earlier you were talking about these growing gaming communities, how they're incredibly large and comparable on such a different level when we think about console audiences. Like you mentioned Roblox, you mentioned Fortnite. So how are we're obviously thinking about our responsibility, our hardware responsibility is supporting the growth of gaming communities. How has that actually shown up for the players? Are there other games we can speak to from our portfolio?
Well, as Phil mentioned, two of the biggest ones for us, Call of Duty and Minecraft, they are driven just from the bottom up by the communities of people that play those games, which is so great. I think about it for the player community, it comes down to where are the friends, where are the people you play with, and then equally important is where have you built up your library of games, right? Where have you invested? Where's that library? I think those two things probably are some of the biggest influences on where people choose to play and what devices they choose to play.
Yeah.
When we think about, on the other side, the developer side, just any game developer wants their game to find the biggest audience possible. That's just the nature of building a game. You want people to enjoy and participate in what you've made. And I think we're in a unique position to deliver on that just because we are the platform. We build hardware, we've got a first-party games group, and then we've got a system that ties that together, that brings together your friends, your progression, your achievements, all of that. And I think that's really what has contributed to the momentum behind some of these communities.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot of
when you
PR
look
speak.
just step back and you look at the history of the industry, we've moved from a place where it used to be that someone built and launched a game to accelerate hardware to actually the things we do with our hardware and with our platform are all in service of making those games bigger. And we think about that across all of the investments we make, the consoles we build, the investments we do with things like cross-play, cross-progression, the things that we're doing with cloud. How do we actually give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? I think one of the fun recent examples about this is actually Power World. Power World was able to launch. They were a game preview. They launched in Game Pass. They also simultaneously launched in Steam. And through the combination of those things, Pocket Pair was able to have this outsized success. And it was the largest third-party Game Pass launch ever. And that's all because we give creators options on how they can launch their games. We've got subscription, we've got retail, we've got free-to-play.
Okay, I really hate this aspect
we
here
have the
because
consoles, we have
they
our
literally
experience
did
on
not
PC,
support Power
and they
World
can
at all.
access all of those things. And when we step back and we just look at the performance of our platform all up, we know it's working. We're at the highest level of users on console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of users on cloud ever. We have double-digit growth rate on PC and cloud, places where we're enabling
Because you
creators
bought
to actually
Activision
reach
Blizzard. That
new
doesn't
players
count.
beyond the console
What?
ecosystem. And that's why we're leaning into it and doing
That's
more,
cheating.
because we see all those signals.
So we're talking about
What?
the role that hardware plays for creators, for the games and
Oh,
those
God.
communities. What about the role that hardware plays for us as a business for Xbox?
When we look at our hardware, it really is, and Phil said this earlier, it's where you get like the most flagship seminal experience of Xbox. And it also represents a developer target. Our developers can build the specs of our hardware, and we invest to make sure they know when they do that the games are going to run great on our hardware, but they're also going to be able to be accessed across any screen because of all the other investments we make. So we're giving them an easy way to access as many players as possible. And we actually have more creators right now building for Xbox than ever before by nature, thousands of them by nature of those investments. And we got more to come. There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. And we're also invested in the next generation roadmap. And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it better for players and better for creators and the visions that they're building.
And then when we're talking about hardware too, there's these other considerations that are really important to our community, probably to each one of ourselves as well. When you talk about library, because I want to dig in on that a little bit more.
Oh, here we go.
As we talk about cloud in the wider entertainment industry, there's conversations about streaming. How is that impacting how I own my content that I've invested in? So what can we say about our stance around game preservation?
Yeah, one of the highlights for me of being in this position was getting to stand on stage when we announced back compat coming to Xbox One. Like, it was fantastic. People were reading the teleprompter before I could read it. I'm a slow reader, and just feeling the energy in the auditorium as we were saying that, and online. One of the cues I think us as being part of Microsoft take is looking at Windows and how Windows over decades has maintained software compatibility with things that are built on it. Like, I can still go back and play some of the games that I love playing on Windows from decades ago, and it will still run. And we try to bring that same view to consoles. It's harder in console because the line between what the hardware is and what the game is in consoles is traditionally, it's tighter, which makes compatibility, you end up doing these generational compatibilities that we've built. But I will say compatibility, the ability to not only play the games, but my saves are still there with our cloud save systems to try to keep the services up as long as we can so that people can play, is a tenet of what we are as Xbox. It's at our foundation. And when we look at future hardware generations and what we're going to support, making sure that we respect, which is the word I use, respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward is fundamental. And the fact that you get entitlements when you buy a game from us on both Windows and Xbox also means you have the ability to play that game across a multitude of devices, which I think furthers the compatibility of the games that you own.
Can we go back to what Xbox stands for today?
He
I
said
think
a
we've
lot,
pretty
but he
much
didn't say
covered
anything
all
there.
of the
He mentioned
elements, but
Windows,
if you
and
could
he
break it
just
down
didn't
for
say
me.
When you play on Xbox, what we're saying is you're playing on a platform where the biggest games in the world are always going to be. You're playing on a platform where you get to access Game Pass. And all of the games from our incredible range of studios will always launch in Game Pass day one. And you're playing on a platform that's dedicated to you, like player-first features, cross-play, cross-save, cross-progression, backwards compatibility.
They just keep saying like the same
being able to play
words
your
over and
games
over
in your
again. They're just
library
buzzwords.
anywhere you want because of the investments that we make in cloud gaming. And so you're playing somewhere where you're investing and you get to take the games forward with you and across all of the screens where you are. And I think most importantly, Xbox is a place where you know when you're investing in Xbox, you're investing somewhere that is dedicated to making games more successful and creators more successful so that they can invest more to bring even better experiences to you all of the time.
Yeah, just that investment in the studios is so, and we feel that as part of first party with the platform proximity. You know, it's kind of amazing now to look out across all the studios we've got and just be reminded that we're now one of the biggest development organizations in the industry. What does that mean for players? It means that the biggest games are going to continue to come to Xbox. And this 2024, the year coming up, we've got more than 10 major releases coming up. Great stuff. Hellblade 2. We've got Diablo expansion. We've got Avowed, Ara, the Indiana Jones game. And there's more in development, which I think we're going to be able to share more about at our June showcase coming up pretty soon.
Well, I guess I should get ready to work on that show. Well, thank you all for showing up on the podcast today, and we'll see the rest of you this June.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tina.
Thank you.
They just said a lot of buzzwords like over and over and over and over and over and over again. They're like Xbox, with cross save, with crossplay, with backward compat. So I feel like we didn't need 23 minutes to go over this. So game libraries and preservation, they basically said nothing. He mentioned Windows, which I was like, oh, maybe they're going to make stuff available on Windows. And then he just kept saying the same words over and over and over again. So that spent 54. So he spent like a minute and a half literally just saying the same words over and over again and said absolutely nothing. So I guess he confirmed that they're going to be doing forward compatibility. So that really, he said a lot of nothing for like a minute and a half. We did it. Yeah, we survived. Xbox hardware. So we're getting some sort of hardware this year. And then she did say the next Xbox will be the greatest tech jump they've ever done. Which I doubt, unless they go with NVIDIA over AMD. But they did mention AMD as a partner earlier in the video. So I don't see how they're going to get a technological jump that's the largest they've ever done unless they skew the numbers a little bit. Because AMD just doesn't have anything being cooked right now that would be that big of a jump over the Series X. Gaming communities, blah, 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 blah. Going in circles. How does Xbox want to keep what? What was this one? How does Xbox want to keep what going? It's just like a lot of just
you think
talk
about a
for
healthy
like
industry.
minutes.
I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love.
Oh, how does Xbox keep up with the industry? Yeah, they give away their games. How is multi-platform available? Yeah, then they talked about them doubling. They have more players than they've ever had, but that's because they bought Activision Blizzard, so that doesn't really count. I don't know. If they keep with AMD, I really don't see how they would get that much of a technological leap. I don't see that at all. Yeah, AMD is like eons behind NVIDIA here. Why isn't this a change in... What was this discussion point? Why isn't this a change in Xbox strategy? So... They didn't even mention when we're getting the Activision Blizzard backwards compatible stuff. So are we not going to see that till like the end of the year? I had that pegged for the spring. But if they're giving us just Diablo 4 late March, I think it was like March 28th, I'm assuming that now means we're not going to see that. Are we ever going to see that stuff backwards compatible? That's crazy. Okay, so then we have first party games and that stuff. And then they said, how does this apply to the future? Okay. So basically 4 games that are coming to other platforms. I think we can say with pretty high certainty, like 100%, it's going to be Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, and Hi-Fi Rush. The 4th one is a question mark. Some people are suggesting Grounded, which I think makes a lot of sense. I think Flight Sim led up. They said not to Indiana Jones and not to Starfield. But he did right afterwards say there's going to be less and less exclusivity going forward. So, just as I said before we started streaming this, they're not going to tell us that these games are going to be on other platforms because they want you to buy them on this platform and then move them over. I don't think Xbox is going to end up with any exclusivity
Are building those
left.
games, have announced plans that are not too far away. As we know, game teams put a lot of energy.
Yeah, so it'll probably
into
be a
their
Nintendo
announcements
Direct
with
that
the
got moved from
partners.
this
So,
day to like
I
next
don't want
week,
to
and
take
it'll
anything
include Sea of
away
Thieves,
from those
Sci-Fi Rush, and
teams.
Pentiment.
So I won't be talking
the
about
fourth
the
one will be
titles
later?
specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Well, what was the criteria in how the team
doesn't
was
say
thinking
those
about
aren't going
selecting
to other
those four
platforms,
titles?
Let me start a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now.
For
Is
talking about
the fundamental
right now.
decision driver for any decision that
Okay, so he says the 4 games
Titles
coming,
are
and there'll be
Starfield
more
or
later.
Indiana Jones?
they are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Well,
Okay, let's just we really got to look at what he's saying because this is a
Their
lot of
announcements with
like if you guys aren't aware of this, like a lot of this is like PR talk. So they're gonna sugarcoat this and they're gonna make it as easy to digest as you can while actually telling you nothing. You really got to listen to like what he's saying.
partners. So I don't want to take anything away from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
4 games.
can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
They are not Starfield or Indiana Jones.
Well,
So the first 4 are not Starfield or Indiana Jones, but he doesn't say that they're not going to be coming to other platforms.
what was the criteria in how the team was thinking about selecting those 4
Right?
titles?
Let me start a little bit outside of that, and then I'll get to the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now. Because the fundamental decision driver for any decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox. That we're running
he doesn't
a
say
growing
that they're not gonna
platform
be coming to
that
other
is
platforms,
reaching
though.
more
He just says they're
players,
not in the
that our
first
games
4.
are having as much success as possible. And I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10
Do you think
years,
this montage is games that are going to be
exclusive
coming
games,
later?
games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. And that's not some great insight. because if you
exclusives
look
are
at the last 10
disappearing, and it'll
years
just be
and
like
what
a
the biggest
third-party
games
thing.
are today, it's a natural place. Whether it's one console and PC, multiple consoles, mobile console and PC, you see big games landing on multiple platforms. And we want to be a great platform for creators that are trying to realize that potential. But now back to the specifics of the question on these four specific titles.
There's a lot of like
We looked
repeating
at
the same
games
sentence
that
structure
are
over and
over a
again.
year old. So they've been on Xbox and PC for a while. A couple of the games are community-driven games, new games that kind of first iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth. Franchises that we obviously want to continue to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have communities behind them, that they can have confidence that they're going to exist in the future. So 2 of them, kind of community-driven games that will end up on other platforms and give us the ability to continue to invest in them. We think that's great for the business and great for the communities, more players to play with. I'd say 2 of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built
Okay,
as
so he
kind of
says
platform.
2 of them are live. So Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment are the 2 small games, and he says the other 2 are live service. Is Grounded really a live service multiplayer game, though? I don't know if Grounded fits in that, does it? Because Grounded, it's like it's a live service game, but it's not like a game that you need other people to play. Because I would say Sea of Thieves would be the example. Like Sea of Thieves, you have to be playing with other people. It's a multiplayer live service game. I don't know if Grounded fits as that 4th game. I really don't think it does.
Exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that. But games that our teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors across our studios, regardless
Redfall.
of size. And as they've realized their full potential on Xbox and PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value out of those games, allowing us to invest in maybe future iterations of those, so sequels to those, or just other games like that in our portfolio. And when we don't damage Xbox and we can grow our business
I think you
using
damaged
what other
Xbox pretty fucking
platforms
badly
have
last couple weeks.
to help us with that, we're going to do that. And that's really the story behind these 4 games. And last thing I'll say, looking
For now.
forward, I think there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms
Yeah,
to
but you
get
don't
them
have
more
many, like,
interested
exclusives.
in Xbox. We think there's a good brand value for Xbox there. So 4 games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see
No
these 4
promise
games
beyond
coming, please don't take it as some signal.
He's
that
literally
everything's
telling us
coming.
that he's
It's
going to
not.
move other games.
And we're going to learn.
So when you are thinking about the future,
No promises beyond that. Because it sounds like it's like, oh, if you're on if you're on PlayStation, you might not get other games from us, but it's like it's what he's really saying is if you're on Xbox, no promises that those are it. Yeah. I don't know about Grounded. I would kind of think Flight Sim would be that thing. My Xbox affiliate link. There is no Xbox affiliate link. I told you that. They canceled it in the summer. And then the Xbox Microsoft expired me from their program on like a month ago. And then I was like, well, I didn't like this response. And they replied today. I was like, well, okay.
and this concept of live service games that can benefit from
Live
bigger
service
audiences, new audiences, how does that apply to future titles and how you're applying that criteria there?
Yeah, there's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. We just came out of Developer Direct, which was an awesome
What do you mean there's
show,
no fundamental change?
where we
You just-
showed
you
great
just said you're
games that are
moving
coming to
exclusives
Xbox
over to other
and PC
platforms.
and cloud,
What?
which really makes them accessible to hundreds of millions of people. So it's
That's so
this kind
contradictory.
we're really focused on a couple platforms and what's going to show up there.
There's no change,
but
but
our,
you're moving
our
stuff over?
key,
What?
play the games you want with the people you want,
I'm so
anywhere you
confused by
want, when
this.
anybody play, when everybody
twisting
plays,
his
we all
words.
win.
I'm looking
These have
through
been
what
part
he's
of our
saying.
strategy for years and will continue to be. Our focus is on how do we continue to grow the games industry by reaching more players in more places, and how do we grow Xbox as part of that. Xbox is a hardware platform, Xbox is a publisher of great games, and Xbox as a platform for the world's best
Palworld
games.
would be the driving force.
And then knowing
behind
that,
their
how do we
growth
think
for
about our first-party
subscriptions.
games and Game Pass?
Yeah, well, to build on what Phil just said, one thing I would add, as you were talking about growth, is
Yeah.
just that we've sort of seen this inversion over the last 5 years.
I don't know how I feel about this. It's very clearly this is the beginning. I think you guys aren't reading into this enough, honestly. You have to look at what he says and their actions. Phil Spencer says a lot. And a lot of the time, he says specific words that are to sugarcoat and make things easier for you so you believe him. You really gotta look at what he said and what he's done over the last 10 years. Tonight, I don't know, maybe we'll do COD because we'll talk about stuff. Yeah. Well, we knew that there was going to be another Xbox. So he says 20 years of Xbox. And I do believe, like I said, eventually it'll just be an app on your like phone or your PC Xbox. I don't know. I still think that next Xbox will probably be the last one for hardware. Because they said Xbox will be around for 20 years more. They're planning. But the game's need one more hardware jump and it'll be the largest leap they've ever done. But then they talk about working with AMD. And there's no way AMD is going to deliver a jump that large over the Series X. Because the Series X is already pretty top tier AMD specs, at least it was when it came out. And unless AMD's got like a revolutionary type thing, which I'm sorry, AMD just never does. Yeah, they're not going to get that kind of generational leap under AMD unless they're ditching AMD. Which would be interesting, but he literally mentions AMD as like a partner, and they're projecting that like hardware sales are going down. Because PlayStation 5 sales are missed projections by 4 million. Xbox Series X is not doing great for sales either. This is a really weird one. Yeah. As Sony I have all the platforms. You guys are so weird. I really don't understand this like context of like where I'm supposed to be stuck covering Xbox stuff. I really, really don't understand that. Like you do know I have tons of PlayStation videos and Nintendo videos, and I do stuff on PC. And, yeah. Well, I know we're getting one more Xbox generation. We knew that before the stream even happened today. The next gen Xbox. Well, we like, have you guys been in the conversation last week? Like, we knew there was another Xbox coming, likely 2026. Like, did people need that guarantee today? That was like the biggest thing for them, was getting that guarantee that there's another Xbox console. It's more like the long term. Again, the worry is that you remove your exclusives, which are the driving force behind why people buy your hardware. You have less and less hardware sales. You stop releasing your hardware, and then your library vanishes. They mentioned they have the Play Anywhere program over and over again, but like, that's a really finite selection of games. That's not a ton of them. It is a very, very finite amount of your library. So they just reiterated that forward compatibility is happening. They sugar-coated things with a Game Pass drop of Diablo 4, but not the rest of the Activision Blizzard titles, so those ones probably are not coming out this spring now. Maybe they'll come out summer or late in the year. Yeah, it was kind of weird that they talked about backwards compatibility and they didn't give any actual solid details on Activision Blizzard titles. So all we got was Diablo 4 to kind of sugarcoat things and make things sound good. And they just kind of went in circles talking about the same thing over and over and over again. Crossplay, cross-saves, Xbox everywhere, Xbox stuff. It was a very PR speaky talk for 20-something minutes. Yeah. Hardware. Well, obviously, that's why I literally said that, like, you know, when this came out, the Series X, which was 3 years ago, it was pretty top-tier AMD stuff. And I'm sure they have, you know, stuff that is a bump up, but, like, if they're talking about actually delivering a true next-gen performance, like, they're gonna have to get rid of AMD. I'm sorry, AMD stuff is just way further behind on technology. I build my channel on Xbox. You guys are so weird, honestly. Some people in the chat are just so strange. What do you mean, build my channel on Xbox? I just happen to cover more things on Xbox as I played on that platform. You really, like, can people not look past, like, a 2-second thing and actually think long-term about the status of things? And you just, like, eat up whatever kind of sugar-coated PR message your favorite company tells you? That's so weird. That is so legitimately weird. This is bad news for Xbox. They're literally giving away... Do you guys not, like, see the progressional change of how that kind of impacts you if you move over exclusives, which are the driving force, and then people don't buy the hardware and they stop making hardware? Like, can people really not critically think in that way? Like, that drives me crazy. Exclusives are anti-consumer. Exclusives drive you to any platform. That's literally what keep people interested in this. Our DNA might be the jump. I don't know. I've never seen anything from AMD that's actually that much of a leap in technology. No, PS5 has already allegedly allegedly Sony has already signed contracts for 2 more PlayStation hardware iterations. So they've done what would be the PS6 and the PS5 Pro if the PS5 Pro is coming out this year. So PlayStation has allegedly already signed their contracts for AMD continuation. See, the problem too is, like, there's not a lot of differentiating between the Series X and the PS5 in terms of technology, and switching from AMD would actually allow that sort of change. But again, them mentioning AMD in the conference means that it looks like they will be going with AMD again. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given AMD a shout out about that. This is really, really interesting. Yeah. The 4 games are only the beginning. I mean, people are just delusional if they think otherwise. He literally didn't even say it's going to be only 4 games. He said it's 4 games for now, and there's going to be less and less exclusives over time. Which again will decline the purpose or the interest in buying the Xbox. But as I've also said many, many times, console sales in general are in decline, and consoles might not be around down the road because there's not going to be enough people buying them. Yeah. Play something good. You don't like Halo? Well, yeah, I cover a ton of Xbox stuff. It's just like, I really don't legitimately understand why people are so hostile about this stuff. I have legitimate worries. There's legitimate problems with it, what they've said, which is just like PR propaganda talk, essentially. And it's like, oh, I'm doom and gloom against Xbox. It's like, seriously, it's not like a good thing if you care about the console. The Xbox brand, as I've said literally since the first time we did the doom and gloom stream, will be fine. There's no, like, Xbox isn't going anywhere, because the eventual goal is for it to just be an app on your PC or your phone and stuff. It's whether or not you care about the hardware. It doesn't stop at 4 games. They never said it was going to stop at 4 games. There'll be more down the road. He literally didn't even say that Indiana Jones and Starfield aren't going to be on PlayStation. He just said they're not part of the first 4 games that are going to be going to other platforms. And it'll be PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch, I would imagine. Because I think Grounded could run on the Switch. I think Pentiment could easily run on the Switch. Sea of Thieves, yeah, definitely old enough to run on the Switch. And Hi-Fi Rush, yeah. I think all those games could run on the Nintendo Switch fine. So they'll go to the Nintendo and PlayStation platforms. Yeah. Phil looked uncomfortable. The whole thing looked uncomfortable. They looked like robots sitting there giving us like PR speak for like 20 minutes straight. And the others were just like nodding their heads. They should have had couches sat out so that they could sit around a little bit of a table so it looked more comfortable. Yeah. I just can't believe they're not giving Redfall away.
Team Oddball.
That was the game I wanted to play on PlayStation. Where's my Redfall? I don't know, but like I guess from some of the comments, it sounds like their chat worked today and people are totally happy with this announcement. So, you know, if that's what the general audience believes is good for the platform, I guess that's totally fine. I can give my opinion on it and stuff, but yeah. If that's what people believe is the case there, it's, you know, you can't debate with the general population what people believe, but, you know, if you do care about the long success of the hardware part of it, yeah. Such a great point. Well, yeah, this is like a heavily pre-written statement, and they just kept going in circles about the same thing. I guess that's so that people just remember the key points over and over again. Like, you can definitely tell that this was, like, rushed. Like, this was not the plan. They were gonna, like, sugarcoat it. It was probably gonna be a surprise. I bet you'll have a Nintendo Direct next week or the week after. And it's gonna, like, be like, oh, Sea of Thieves, Pentiment, blah, blah, blah. Probably they can't legally say because they've, like, signed contracts with Nintendo to be, like, as part of the Nintendo Direct, you can showcase that these games are gonna go over. And then Xbox would do an event afterwards talking about the future of the platform. But obviously, the news kind of, like, lit up the Xbox community over the last couple weeks. Again, you gotta be really smart about it. You can come up with your own opinions and your own thoughts, but you have to be smart about it and break down specifically what they're saying. What they're saying yes to, what they're saying no to. Because they're a corporation. They're gonna say things in a legal sense, and they're gonna say things in a PR sense. And you have to look at what they're saying, what they've done in the past, and where they're going further with things. You can't just, like, blindly believe what they're telling you, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be the first 4, definitely. Because they don't say there's not gonna be any more beyond that. It's just, for now, it's just 4. Yeah. Everyone should be forced to play Redfall. If other platforms are getting the best Xbox exclusives like Hi-Fi Rush and stuff, they should have to sit through Redfall too. Yeah. Yeah, they could have just tweeted it. Really, it could have just been a Twitter thing. I'm just surprised they let it build to that point. Honestly, I'm really genuinely shocked that Xbox let it build to that point when they could have just tweeted, 4 games are going to be moving to other platforms. We're going to be doing another Xbox. And Indiana Jones and Starfield are going to be exclusive for now. You literally could have just tweeted that. Like, wouldn't that have been easier? Yeah. I really don't think this is the end of exclusives going over, guys. I really genuinely don't. It is kind of funny. But no, I'm kind of looking at the Reddit thread a little bit, and people seem like this is totally okay to them, so... yeah. Seems like the PR spin on things kind of worked, and people are pretty happy. Yeah, repeat after me, 4 games, no Starfield, no Indiana Jones, and then someone says, for now, asterisk. Yeah. Well, they contradict themselves in the PR statement, too, like that they're doing in the chat. Where he's, like, I literally did that earlier in the video when I was looking at it. If I was saying Xbox is dead, well, I mean, that is the start of the death of the Xbox, literally. They gotta hype it up. I guess so. I mean, you literally, it could have just been a tweet with like four little things. That's all you needed. Because they spent like 20-something minutes, but they really didn't say much at all. They're like, okay, things are the same, but things are gonna be radically different. See, the funny thing is people are gonna be like, oh, this is okay, this is fine, and then like in like 6 months when they're like, oh, Starfield's moving over, Indiana Jones is moving over, people will be like, what? But you said this, and it'd be like, well, you guys didn't read through what he was saying. Flip-flop. I mean, am I flip-flopping? I mean, I think I've held a pretty fucking firm stance on my opinion on this situation. When have I ever flip-flopped this entire last, like, 2 weeks? When has there been a single flip-flop on this? No, seriously, I am curious. I'd love for you to put that up. Where do I contradict myself at all? I'm like very, very straightforward on my opinion on this. I've kept on that very, very firmly the whole time. Yeah, I could be like, what is it, like Jez and stuff there where the guy's flipping back and forth every 2 minutes. Yeah. Crazy. So I think the key thing really is this is kind of like a bit of a damage control chat that they did today. A lot of PR talk. It's starting with 4 games. There'll be more exclusives that go over. It sounds like they were also setting up the fact that this is going to be a timed exclusivity thing. Games that are older and that have already lived out their lifespan on Xbox will be moved over to other platforms. It'll start with 4 and they'll do more and more over time as it makes financial sense. And then eventually, like they said, less and less exclusives. So there won't be any exclusives on Xbox down the road. Or they'll come to Xbox first, then come to other platforms, and then that window will shrink like with PC and like PlayStation going from PS5 to PC releases. Lots of PR, goobly gobbly. You get 1 more Xbox generation guaranteed. The largest leap in power. They're going to be showing hardware this year to some degree. Is they going to show next gen hardware, or are they going to show like a new, like an Xbox handheld this year or something? That was really confusing. I think we're getting a new controller revision this year too. Yeah. So serious. Freaking tired. I've got like other stuff to do than like sit here and do things like this. Yeah. Well, of course they're giving you PR statements and stuff like that. An undertow of negativity towards Xbox in my streams recently. I mean, it's been like that for like almost a year now. I haven't been happy with Xbox since like Redfall. Yeah, no, people have no long-term thought on this. They're just thinking in the short term. That's it. Yeah. Well, yeah, they're gonna make more money off of this. Like, again, Xbox, as I've said in each of the streams, isn't ever going to go anywhere. It's just literally going to not be hardware eventually. And it's whether or not you care about that, which is what matters. Now, when we get another Halo game down the road, whenever that is. God damn it, man. Freaking Xbox controller disconnects kill me. Yeah, Phil Spencer says a lot of things, and people just eat it up. I don't know how he has so good PR. I really don't understand it. People act like he's like this icon of Xbox. He's been running the show for 10 years. Console sales have declined. They haven't really hit any big exclusives yet. Still, he was running the first party like 6 years before that. It's just weird. Hmm. Yeah, definitely could have just been a tweet. I actually have a lot of people that watch my streams that primarily play on PlayStation, which I think is interesting. I don't really care. I like playing games and showing games and enjoying games. People are just really intense about stuff. Got enough stress in your life. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they are just consoles, you know. They're things you put money into and stuff, and it's whether how much you care about that matters at the end of the day, right? It's a little different when I'm actually, like, making content and trying to plan my future scheduling and what platforms to support and whatnot. I guess the big thing is I'm gonna have to sit there and really read what people thought of the event. Like, was it a positive for them? Was it not positive? Yeah. Sorry, I'm having, like, bad stream connectivity issues again. Bigger than the 360 era? Yeah, it's definitely not that. I just think it's hilarious, though, that so many people are like, oh, it's just 4, and... I think Phil Spencer could have got away with saying a higher number. He could have said 6 games. People would have ate it up. Yeah. Diablo 4 Game Pass. That was such a sugarcoat thing. They're like, I know this sounds bad, guys, to some of you, but you're getting Diablo 4 on Game Pass on March 28th. Yeah. Well, at least they didn't get rid of the day one for Game Pass, but I don't think they could have, otherwise a lot of people would have unsubscribed from Game Pass. So that was good. They did guarantee more hardware. So that's good, but again, it's just going to be declining hardware over time because it's just not going to sway anyone over. Unless they do something revolutionary, and I don't think they're going to.
Infinity Slayer.
And it's like, you know, it's a lot of people just really short-sighted on things. It's like you're spending thousands of dollars over years buying games. And it's like you should care about where you're able to play these games way down the road. Sad that Xbox is going third party. At this point, I don't really... Yeah, again, like I said before the stream, I'm completely indifferent towards it now. It's kind of tired. Yeah.
Game over. Victory.
Anyways, I think I've had enough for today of this. We'll probably do our later stream tonight, and yeah, it should be really interesting to see what the responses are from people about this whole situation and what everybody thinks of this one, I guess. But yeah, we'll play COD tonight, and we'll talk more in depth about this, and I'm sure I'll have a good roundup of what people were thinking of this overall event and stuff like that. But regardless, it was fun, guys. I hope you enjoyed the stream chat in the middle of the day and stuff like that. And time to go out and go do some stuff, I guess. See ya.